Welcome back everyone to another episode of The Road Chose Me. My name's Dan, and on today's episode we are exploring the stunning red centre of Australia. We've got some amazing highlights. Let me show you where we are. We've driven up from South Australia, we've finished our time there, and we've come north. We're now in the Northern Territory, the massive northern state of Australia. On this episode we're going to explore Uluru, we'll check out Kata, we'll check out gorges, canyons, we're on foot, we're in the Jeep, we're out here four-wheel driving. Check it out, this place is absolutely breathtaking. And we've teamed up with Matt, who we bumped into on the road. He's in a Ford Maverick, he loves getting out four-wheel driving, he's on his own grand adventure. Let's go and explore Australia's stunning red centre. So to kick things off guys, let's go hiking in Ormiston Gorge, this really stunning red rock canyon. And of course, due to all the rain lately, check it out. I'm a little bit excited about this. It says swimming through cold water is required. So we've been told towards the end of this, when we're in the canyon, that we will mandatory have a swim through some pretty deep cold canyon water. And I'm wondering if this is going to end up being a lot like the Zion Narrows hike. So let's check it out, Ormiston Gorge. Maybe we'll just stand around and contemplate our options for 10 more minutes, soak in the view, and then it's time to go for a swim. So here we go. Katie and I have put all our gear in a plastic bag. We came prepared. Matt brought an actual dry bag. He's got his shoes and his phone and stuff in there.
It does not feel sketchy at all.
No. Perfectly safe. Oh, it's cold.
I feel like a seal with like the ball at the circus, you know, when they're like loving this.
All right, so I'm totally swimming now. I am not on the bottom.
It's actually really pleasant.
There's so many ledges.
I haven't kicked anything yet, which is nice.
I can't stand.
Starting to wish we brought some pool noodles or something. That'd be nice. This is incredible.
You're just like walking with the
This canyon just keeps getting more and more impressive. Check out the rock wall behind me. You go down the canyon. Katie, of course, still swimming because she loves it. That rock is incredible. The scale in here is ginormous and really, really hard to take in. What an absolutely stunning spot. So if we wanted to, we could have just crossed to the other side, and there's actually a hiking trail along there and it goes up to a lookout, but we'd rather be down here in the canyon because it's more fun. So now we're kind of walking, half swimming. And we did just find though, our amazingly dry water bag. It's not very dry. There's some water in the bottom. So we'll see. My shoes are on the bottom and they're kind of soles down. So with any luck, it's not going to matter too much. There's a phone in there, but it's inside a waterproof Tupperware, so I think it'll be fine. So here we are at the end of the canyon and we found ourselves on the wrong side. We got cliffed out over there. So Katie's going across with the bag, Matt's in front of Katie with his bag. They're basically on the other side right now. And I'm stuck on the wrong side, so I'm just gonna have to get back in. And it feels cold now after just having a break. See how this goes. Pretty sure I have nothing in my pockets. Absolutely beautiful. So what you saw just then is we've driven into a place, we've gone down the Fink River a little bit and we've driven into Palm Valley. And you can see how stunning this place is. The rock here is reminding me so much of Moab or that region. And the special thing about this place, these palm trees here in front of me, this is the only place they grow on Earth. And around here, their nearest relative is 1,000 kilometers away, 600 miles. So there's kind of a bit of a mystery of how did these palm trees get here and why are they kind of flourishing in this little paradise oasis right here versus anywhere else. You can see, where else do you want to be in the world? This is utterly incredible. So come with us, we're going to go on a bit of a walk through Palm Valley and then we'll see what comes next. So here we are, guys, another interesting thing to check out and have a look at while we're in Central Australia. We are at a camel farm. And so camels and Australia have a really interesting history. Basically, when Europeans were trying to move forward into Central Australia and sort of develop it and build a railway line and everything, they imported a ton of camels because they did really well in the desert environment here, obviously. And of course, Australia being Australia, whenever you introduce any kind of species, of course it ran rampant. And now there's tens of thousands of camels getting around Australia, especially around this area, and decimating the landscape as they do. And so Australia tries to control this problem. They do actually cull camels. They shoot them from helicopters. I think people go out on foot and in vehicles and shoot them because there are so many of them. They're a problem. But anyway, they have camel farms around the place. Obviously, it's a bit of a touristy thing. I'm sure we could ride one of these if we wanted to. But there's another added bonus. We can eat one of these camels. In true Australian style, you can't appreciate an animal unless you actually eat that animal. So we've been looking for it for quite a while. We are just about to order a camel burger. And so I don't think it's going to be this guy that we're actually eating because he's still a little bit vertical. Come here, buddy. Oh yeah, he likes that. So we're probably not going to eat this guy, but we are about to go and eat a camel burger. So we'll say hello to this guy for a minute or two, and then we'll talk about a camel burger. So this guy has been really friendly as long as we're feeding him, but every time we stop feeding him, he, watch, if I try to pet him, he gets a little grumpy, and he hasn't bitten me, but he tried to bite me. Maybe I'll stop playing with the camel and leave him alone. So here we go, the camel burgers have just arrived and I am exceptionally happy. Not surprisingly, they call this one the 2-hump burger because yes, it has 2 patties on it. We also got some chips which look incredible.
They're excellent.
And part of this, I didn't realize this was going to be an Aussie burger. I haven't told you guys about Aussie burgers yet. This burger has the usual lettuce, tomato, cheese. I think it's got pickles on it, tomato sauce, ketchup. But it also has, there is a slice of pineapple in there. There is beetroot there, sliced pickled beetroot. There's bacon, of course, and there's a fried egg. So these things are all pretty traditional on an Aussie burger or an Australian burger. This is called a burger with a lot. Of course, this one's a bit exotic because it's camel. Normally that'd be beef or kangaroo, I suppose. Order a burger with a lot in Australia, this is what you get. And actually became so popular that McDonald's had a burger called the McOz, which was essentially this. So I think this is going to be the highlight of my day. I've already decided. Camel burger. Katie, what are your thoughts?
I'm so excited. So many hopes and dreams right now.
Here we go, camel burger. So I thought I was done filming, but I have to give you guys an update. I actually think this is the best burger I've ever had in my whole life. I know that's a big call. Check it out though. This thing, I mean, my criteria for a burger, it is enormous, it is delicious, and it has everything I could want on a burger. I wouldn't add anything. It even has this like a bush tomato chutney type sauce on it that has a really nice flavor. And the camel meat itself, I think if someone didn't tell me it was a camel, I wouldn't actually know. It kind of tastes like beef more or less, but bacon, tomato, egg, lettuce, beetroot, pineapple, all on this enormous double stack bun.
Double cheese.
Double cheese, thank you Katie, I forgot. I'm calling it best burger I've ever had. This has got big things to live up to. How are we ever going to find one better than this? I don't know, but I'm going to keep looking. So check this out, have a look what has been filling our windscreen now for the last 10 minutes. This is utterly jaw-dropping. I cannot believe this is real. So that is Uluru, the famous rock in Australia. I must have seen about 10,000 photos of this as I was growing up. I pretty much heard about this for my whole life. And I'm finding it really hard to believe that I'm actually here and that this is real. This thing, it doesn't even look real. Look how massive it is. Oh my God. And I always thought that it was sort of flat or like not ripply like that. It has so much texture to it. There's so much going on there. This is really, really difficult to believe. And of course, when we came through the park, I just read a few tourist brochures. So the story with this thing is that there was a lot of mountains here about 400 million years ago. The whole area was very mountainous, and that kind of compacted down, and some of them were really hard. And what happened is about 350 million years ago, basically they all eroded away to nothing, and that's everywhere around here. I mean, it's just dead flat nothingness as far as the eye can see. But Uluru was made up of much harder sandstone, so it did not erode away. So basically it is the last mountain standing of all of the mountains that used to be around here. And it's been sitting there like that for about 350 million years. And it is just sandstone, so it kind of does crumble. I guess bits of it break off, I'm not even really sure. And as you can imagine, this is a really important site for the Aboriginals. People have been coming here, they estimate, for more than 35,000 years. So there are cave paintings on Uluru, there is a lot of kind of spiritual and cultural history, but this is unbelievable. Uluru, right near the centre of Australia. I mean, how can you come to Australia and not come here? Can't believe I've never been here before. And wow, now that we've driven over here, check out how big this thing is. So they say Uluru is about 350 metres high, and it is simply enormous. It's really hard to take in just how massive it is and how red it is too. And it's red because there's some iron in the rock, and so that's actually rust on the surface of the sandstone. It's not that colour in the middle. And now that I'm here, I'm sure you guys are going to ask me, am I going to walk to the top of this thing? And no, I'm not. And that's because you can't go to the top of Uluru anymore. You might have seen those iconic photos of people walking up. That's all done and finished. So in 1985, the Australian government handed Uluru back to the traditional Aboriginal owners, which was kind of a huge milestone for Australia. They're not very woke and kind of figuring these things out as they go along. And so for all those years then, the traditional owners asked that you didn't climb Uluru because it is such a culturally significant site and it was kind of disrespectful to climb it. So for all those years, some people did climb it, some people didn't climb it. And kind of over the years, the numbers went down and down, less and less people were climbing it. And then I see there's a sign over here and it says on the 26th of October, 2019, they permanently closed it. So now it is illegal to actually climb Uluru. But you can probably see there, you can see the lines on the rock going up. I assume this is where the hike used to leave from. This is where you would go to hike to the top of it. But we are not going to the top of it. Instead, we're going to hike all the way around. It's a 10-kilometre hike, should take us a couple of hours, and there's a ton of different things to see along the way. So come along as we hike around the mighty Uluru. We're just back from hiking all the way around Uluru, and check it out. Now we are in the official sunset spot. And yes, it's a bit touristy, but I mean, that's what you get. You come to one of the world's biggest tourist destinations and there are going to be tourists, including myself. And so now we are just going to chillax here basically until the sun goes down. They'll chase us out of the park at about 7:30 when it closes. But until then, we're going to probably cook dinner here. I might set up the camera and do a time lapse. It's just a matter of enjoying our time. And something I wanted to add is that I always thought Uluru was basically the shape that you guys can see now, which is like, let's say, a big loaf of bread or something. It actually isn't like that at all. It's more like a big blob, like a teardrop, and it has tons of like inlets and outlets and ripples and caves and formations. It is way more three-dimensional than I ever realized. And every time you look at it, you see a different shape or a different angle. It's actually spectacular and stunning, and it's really hard to take in. Driving away from it, I saw it in my rear view mirror and I was like, oh my God, that doesn't even look real. This is actually incredible. I don't really have words to describe how beautiful it is. So we're going to soak it in, stay here for a couple of hours and really try to make the most of our time here at Uluru. Good morning everyone, and what a beautiful morning it is. Katie and I were up at before 6 o'clock in the morning. We caught sunrise over another rock formation that's here not far from Uluru. This is called Kata, and this is kind of a collection of lumpy, rocky outcroppings. I guess I'd describe them all as a mini Uluru, but grouped together, they are extremely beautiful. And we're only about 50 kilometers away from Uluru, so not far at all. And you'll notice I'm using the native names for the two places. And that's because since it was given back in 1985, we don't use the old names anymore. So you might know Ayers Rock is what Uluru used to be called. That's not the name anymore. And here, Kata used to be called the Olgas. And that's kind of what I remember them as when I was a kid, but that's not true anymore. So here we go, we're gonna go for a walk. We're going up the Valley of the Winds, which we're told is extremely beautiful. And believe it or not, it's kind of cold. Katie and I were both wearing merino wool this morning. It's quite windy, but the sun already is having quite the impact and we're warming up quickly. So let's go for a hike around stunning Kata. So there we have it. We are now driving away from Uluru. We've actually been here for 3 days now, coming over here, enjoying sunrise, enjoying sunset. We've done all of the hikes that are on offer around Uluru and Kata. And I have to say, you know, looking forward to coming here for almost my whole life, it absolutely lives up to expectations. Uluru is breathtaking. It has some sort of quality about it, some sort of aura or attitude that even now, like I'm looking in the rear view mirror and I can see it, and it's just ridiculous. It is so enormous, and watching the sun move around it all day, it really makes it look like Uluru's alive, the way that it changes color and changes shape. It's breathtaking. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing all the sights of Central Australia. This has been on my bucket list for as long as I've been alive, so it feels great to have come here and really sunk in and experienced and seen all the things that are in the red centre of Australia. And if you have enjoyed the video, do hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. There are still plenty more adventures to come here in Australia. And as I leave you, I'll show you what sunset looks like over Uluru. So it's really famous for catching this like red flash when the sun is setting, just as the sun goes below the horizon. It kind of gets darker for a minute, and then somehow, inexplicably, it flashes red for not very long. It was just a couple of minutes, and then it passes, and then the stars came out, and I took some star photography. So, once again, thanks for watching. Have fun out there, and maybe I'll bump into you on the road.